impression was to drive real dynamic, real silent through Norway. It was my first tour through Norway, through Oslo, and it's my first time in Oslo this time. And I come here, see the electric cars, and was so amused about that to see, or not amused. I was impressed for this, and the dynamic, that's the silence in the car, but the smooth driving, just like a normal car. That was I hadn't no time to have to get used to it. I was firm with it, just like the first time.
It felt very good and it was very quiet. It felt like you were driving on a cloud and the ride was very soft.
What was your experience?
It was pretty much the same because it was so relaxing, and you can just fall asleep because it was so quiet and soft. So I recommend everyone to buy this car.
I think there have been a lot of positive reactions on the fuel cell cars today, especially during the trial runs, that the people have been able to drive the cars themselves and experience that it's just like a normal car, the one that they use on a daily basis. And they're positive to the concept of the hydrogen cars, as well as also the power that they got, and wondering about prices, how to fill them, when they're gonna hit the stores. So there's a lot of enthusiasm amongst the public, I think.
And have there been any incidents?
No, it's good. Everything has gone smoothly, so it's been a smooth operation from my standpoint anyhow. So it's been good. It's been good.
Wonderful to be here, Jackson. I've never been to this community college before, and though it seems like it's a little bit of a ways into the country, it's really a beautiful, beautiful campus. Very nice chemistry department with state-of-the-art laboratories, and the auditorium is just phenomenal. So I'm very excited about being here. And since I'm a chemist and I'm interested in energy and I'm interested in trying to reduce pollution, I thought I'd do this this topic that's in current events everywhere. So we're going to look at chemical reactions that would power electric cars. And mainly the center point for powering electric cars is the battery. Okay? So this is mainly going to be hands-on. We're going to mainly be doing laboratories, but I have a short presentation, then we'll get to the labs. Once we get to the laboratories, then I'll tell you to wear your goggles because safety is very important. When you leave the lab today, you should probably wash your hands with the sink or down there at the bathroom. And handle some metal electrodes here. And you may want to remove them from your fingers. But all in all, it's a pretty safe laboratory. So to begin here, it turns out that to power cars by electricity, you're going to use chemistry, okay? And there are some electric cars on the market. Nissan has a product called Leaf, which I'm not very familiar with. Tesla here, I think it's made in California. It's been in the news an awful lot. It's a very beautiful car from what I understand, and pretty reliable. The problem here with the Tesla is that the price is $162,000. They tell me if you really want a good Tesla, you need to spend $100K. So not very many of us can afford that. Fisker Automotive had an electric car, and Fisker basically went out of business. They went bankrupt within the last month. And then here in Michigan, since we're very centered on the auto industry, we've had some battery factories to build some of these new generation batteries, and they're having some problems too. Okay. There's the Nissan Leaf, and I got some of this information. I put the slide information up here. And then of course we have the Chevy Volt, which I'll talk about a little bit more. None of these electric cars have been extremely successful sale-wise right now, but they're in their infancy. and hopefully they'll be able to get the cost down, and so that more and more consumers can buy them and reduce pollution. So, battery is a device that stores chemical energy. It converts chemical energy from a chemical reaction into electrical energy. The electrical energy then is used in an electrical circuit to drive a motor and make the motor run. Just like if you have little toy batteries and you can put a battery on a motor and turn it on and it will run. You can actually make a simple battery at home. You can take a lemon, for example, put an iron nail on one side, get a little piece of zinc, kind of stab that in there without cutting yourself. You can either get a light bulb, or if you can get one of these, a digital multimeter at Radio Shack or somewhere else. We're going to be using these today. Take an alligator clip, you can buy these at Radio Shack as well. Connect to one probe. Try to get a good connection there. And then another alligator clip on the other probe here. And turn it on and put it on DC volts, which is over here. You can connect it right up to the two metal parts, two electrodes on the lemon juice, and kind of bring this around. It went from 0 to 0.4 volts. Now, an alkaline battery, you probably know, is about 1.5 volts. Just from doing this, by having two different metals connected together, you need some kind of a medium that is a fluid and has ions in it to conduct electrical current. You can make your own little simple battery. You can also build some batteries out of coins. You can get copper pennies. You can get nickels, for example. You can put the nickel and copper pennies in a stack and put a little piece of paper towel in between them, salt and salt solution, sodium chloride. And that'll work as a battery as well. So you're going to use these today. And to make a battery, batteries were first known as voltaic cells. After Volta discovered them. Technique we're going to basically use today is to take a beaker. So you've got some beakers sitting at your desks here. They're 150 ml Pyrex beakers. I'm going to give you some electrodes. We're going to put metals. Instead of putting everything into the same container, we're going to use two separate containers. You'll make a better battery by using two different cells instead of one cell. We're going to use potassium nitrate solution. We're going to connect the two half cells together with potassium nitrate solution. And we're going to put some copper and zinc electrodes in just like this. We're going to use a digital multimeter to actually measure the voltage. And again, it's chemical energy being converted to electrical energy. I'll go into theory of this, but different metals have different capacities for making voltage. Right, so you're familiar with all these different types of batteries: dry cells, lead acid batteries, which are in our cars, alkaline batteries, which we use to power electronics, zinc, silver oxide batteries in, say, not cell phones, but in watches, nickel cad rechargeable batteries, which have been out for a long time. And then the newer one on the market now, which is the lithium battery. The lithium batteries create the most energy. They're the ones that are used in different types of cars and even in our computers. You can even buy new high-powered flashlights that are powered off of lithium batteries, but you have to be very careful about using these types of batteries because they can catch fire. If you penetrate the battery, poke a hole in it, they'll essentially blow up. So if you buy one of these new, flashlights that run off of lithium batteries, okay, when you mix an old battery with a new one or different brands of batteries, they can explode. Not only explode and cause a burn to yourself, but they can catch fire and maybe possibly burn your house down. So policemen use these a lot, firemen use them a lot in their professional occupation, soldiers do as well, but I wouldn't recommend them for kids, okay? But lithium batteries are the most powerful. They're the ones that are used to power cars. All right, so I have a little video here which we're going to watch. See if this will just grab it off the screen here. I wondered, I didn't think that they might not have sound here. You know if they have sounds?
Occasionally I can put it through actual computer speakers.
These days, everyone's heard of lithium-ion batteries, but what makes them so special? First of all, each battery is made up of many smaller batteries called cells. Let's take a closer look at one to see how it works. The electrical current reaches the cells via conductive surfaces. In this case, aluminum on one side and copper on the other. And just as in every other battery, there's a positive and negative electrode called the cathode and the anode. The cathode, or positive electrode, is made of a very pure lithium metal oxide. The more uniform its chemical composition, the better the performance and the longer the battery life is. As you'd expect, the anode, or negative electrode, is located on the other side. It's made of graphite, a form of carbon with a layered structure. The battery is filled with a transport medium, the electrolyte, so that the lithium ions carrying the battery's charge can flow freely. This electrolyte must be extremely pure and as free of water as possible in order to ensure efficient charging and discharging. To prevent a short circuit, there's a layer placed between the two electrodes, the separator. To the tiny lithium ions, the separator is actually permeable. The experts call this property microporosity. Let's take a look at what happens when a battery is charged. The positively charged lithium ions pass from the cathode through the separator into the layered graphite structure of the anode, where they're stored. Now the battery is charged. When the battery discharges, that is when energy is removed from the cell, the lithium ions travel via the electrolyte from the anode through the separator back to the cathode. The motor converts the electrical energy into mechanical energy, making the car go. The amount of energy available and how long the batteries last is closely related to the quality of the materials used. To sum it all up, higher quality, pure materials along with customized formulations lead to longer battery life and better battery performance.
And, let's see. Right, so, here's a short video. I don't think I'll show all of it today. This one doesn't quite play. It's not that big of a deal.
Lee Touchware with Machine Design Magazine. We're here with Denise Gray from General Motors. Denise is going to tell us a little bit about GM's work on lithium battery technology. Denise, can you tell us a little bit about the underlying technology in that LG battery pack that GM will incorporate into the Voltec platform?
The battery, just from a specifics perspective, the battery is 6 feet tall, T-shaped battery, a little less than 400 pounds. I'm still trying to get that weight down just a bit as well. But the battery is lithium ion, and we all know that lithium ion is not the same. Every lithium ion is not the same. LG Chem, our supplier for our battery cells, have a special design that's their design. It's not General Motors, LG Chem's design, but it's designed to meet all of our requirements. Requirements for the 40-mile range on electricity only. Designed to ensure that we can meet all of our hot weather, cold weather requirements. So the battery in our announcement today that LG Chem as a supplier has been a very good, healthy co-development effort for a number of years with LG Chem. And we are really excited about them being our supplier for this battery cell. Now,
All right, I just wanted to give you an idea of how big the battery has to be to power a car. 6 feet long and over 400 pounds. It's enormous. So they're large, and to get the energy out of these things, they obviously need to make a giant battery that contains hundreds and hundreds of cells. All right, so then let's go back here. There's another type of electric car that works, okay? But they haven't been able to market. In fact, the government put billions of dollars into trying to develop fuel cell cars during the last decade. They thought that they were going to be out on the market by now. But because they used precious metals in making the electrodes for the fuel cell cars, and they weren't able to make them work as efficiently as they wanted, they pretty much cut research on this. When Nobel Prize winner Chu came into Obama's administration to head the energy department, the first thing he did was cut research on this because it wasn't panning out. But this would have been the best way. Instead of using a battery to create energy, and I have a mini fuel cell here, one right here, I'll pass it around. It's really just some chemistry. There's a membrane in here. You feed hydrogen or some gas into one side, and you basically feed oxygen or air into the other side. And a chemical reaction creates enough energy to power a car. Okay? And it's called a fuel cell. But again, we weren't able to, they use it in space for many years. They use it in special applications in some buses, military applications, but they haven't been able to make it work for cars. And I have a short animation on that. This is an animation for a fuel cell. There's a membrane in the center of the fuel cell. You feed hydrogen in one end, you feed air or oxygen in the other end. And what happens is that, well, hydrogen comes in, it goes to this membrane where it breaks apart into hydrogen ions. They actually go through the membrane to the other side, but in the process, they lose electrons which power an electric motor that drives the motor in a car. So there they are on the other side. Oxygen comes in through the other end. When it hits the membrane, it breaks up and reacts with the hydrogen ions to form water. And water vapor is released into the atmosphere. So this was the best bet for reducing pollution because the only emission was water into the atmosphere. All right, what we're going to do first now, we're going to do some labs, so I want you to go ahead and don your goggles. We're going to run some chemical reactions. Okay, I'm going to show you some chemical changes that can happen in order to create energy. And the first thing that I want you to do is take one of your test tubes. There's two groups here. And take one of these little pieces of copper thread. Take this little piece of copper mesh, put it inside the test tube, and you can use your pencil to poke it down. Poke it. Yeah. And if you're missing anything, let me know. Yeah, and just poke it into the test tube with the pencil. You have a pen. Okay, good. Poke it all the way in, because we're going to cover it up with a chemical solution. So we want it to be down there toward the bottom. And then once you've done that, I'm going to come around with a special solution. It's actually a silver solution. And we're going to cover that up. It doesn't have to be completely. And you can put it into your test tube holder. And you can watch for changes, and I think I have at least one magnifying glass at each table. And you can look to see if there's any changes. This would be a chemical change. Well, you want to poke it all the way down in there. Yeah, that's excellent. That's the best way. This is silver nitrate solution. It's not too dangerous. Medical doctors used to put it in the eyes of newborn infants to kill germs and bacteria to keep them from going blind. And then it might take a minute or so, but everybody happy?
Okay. Are we happy?
Rachel, are you seeing any changes?
Yeah.
And you can let that sit in there for a few minutes. You want to help me? Test out a second test tube, everybody. One for every 2 people.
Yeah, so that is eating
Are the chemicals supposed to be sprayed up or what?
I let mine go for about a half an hour and it looks like this. See, it's totally different. All right, so then here's the next thing. Pass these out, have them put 2 or 3 of those, at least a couple into each test tube. Go ahead and put those little zinc nodules into the second test tube. How are you? Then we're going to cover them up with another solution. And this might take a little while for the reaction to occur as well. But these are all examples of chemical reactions that take place when metals produce electricity.
Just do your thing like I'm not here.
Silver nitrate.
There you go.
AgNO. Copper. Open this one. Right, the second one. I need to put some solution on top of those. Those are saying this is copper. Changes there. Right. Wow. So what did you see happen here? Now that's a really good one. Are you seeing this type of thing with your first reaction here?
Bubbles coming off it.
Who knows, does anybody have an idea what's actually growing on the copper wire? What? Silver. Silver metal, okay? You're getting silver crystals growing here. So what I'm trying to show you is that these chemical reactions take place on their own. There's some energy associated with these reactions as well. What's happening with the second reaction?
And bubbles are coming.
What is happening to those zinc nodules sitting there
bubbles are flying off now.
Is there something growing on top of the zinc? Is it turning color?
Yeah. It's darker.
Darker. Who knows what that might be? It's actually copper. What's happening to the blue color of the solution? Is it getting lighter, darker, or no change? Darker. It's actually probably should be getting lighter. I tried to make a little animation, a cartoon to show you what's happening. Right, so we've got zinc, solid, plus copper ions. This is the chemical reaction, which is probably a little bit too much for you. The copper solution is blue. The zinc solutions are colorless. And it starts out with copper being blue. When they contact the zinc, they pick up 2 electrons, and they become zinc copper metal, and then the zinc goes into solution, so they're changing places. The zinc metal is actually going into solution as ions, and the copper ions are going out of solution and becoming copper metal. So after some period of time, you're going to see that the color as shown here goes from darker blue to lighter blue. And finally, when all the copper is used up in the solution, when all the precipitates out as copper metal, it becomes colorless. So if you waited long enough, it would become colorless. Let me show it one more time. I actually made this animation in a program called Flash, made by Adobe. If some of you are interested in that, you might want to look at learning how to do computer animations. They're kind of fun to do. The copper comes out of solution. The solution becomes lighter and less blue, and the zinc goes into solution. Zinc makes a colorless solution. And there's energy associated with these processes, and batteries actually harness the energy. And so what we're going to do next is we're actually going to build a battery. And looks like I have some extras up here, so I'll use those. So here I've got 2 beakers. You're going to need 2 electrodes. You're going to need a zinc electrode, so if you can pass one of those out to each group. Give me one too, by the way. And you're going to need a copper electrode. I'll pass those out. Here's a copper. Don't cut yourself with them, okay? They're kind of sharp. Usually I clean these up first by sanding them down, but I think that some of you might cut yourselves if you sand them down, so we're not going to do that.
Coronaries are actually pretty sharp.
Right, so here's the way it works. I want you to try to hang these electrodes into the beaker. I think they have little notches in them to hang them in. I think if the zinc is big enough, we can just put it in there. So they're going to kind of be like this. And then what we have to do is we have to put copper and zinc solutions. We have to put copper solution in the beaker that contains the copper electrode. So it's going to be like this. Here you can see I've got a beaker with the copper in it. I have to put some copper solution in there. I have to be able to cover part of that electrode, kind of like this. And then zinc solution goes in the other one. So why don't we come around and do that? I've got the zinc here. I'll do the zinc first. coming out of the electrode. You want to go around and pour the copper solution? It just had, don't fill the beaker, just the electrode has to be in the unit. Take yours out, put it in there. Zinc solution. Good. All right, now we have the two solutions in different beakers. Okay, this is never going to work the way it's set up yet. We're going to have to connect all the beakers together in a couple of ways to make a complete electrical circuit. Okay, so that's where your little alligator clips come in. You've got to connect one alligator clip to the copper electrode. You can take it out if you want to do that. Put it in like that, and then connect the other end. It's going to connect to one end of the digital multimeter. It doesn't matter what terminal it goes on. Take the second alligator clip and put it on the zinc electrode. This isn't try to make a nice solid connection. And then, as I said, connect the alligator clips to either of the probes that we have here. Be right there. Oh, okay. All right.
Sarah.
Probably so.
I felt.
And if you've done that, you're almost finished in setting up your battery. Problem is that these two beakers aren't connected together to make a circuit. That's where the piece of filter paper comes in. What we're going to do, I'm going to come around with the solution, is that we're going to take this filter paper, which could be paper towel or coffee filter. We've got to immerse it into this salt solution to make it wet, potassium nitrate. And then you drape it across the two beakers, okay, into the solution, just like that. And then if you turn your battery on, okay, then it should probably give you a current or a voltage. And I'm getting like 1 volt out of this, okay. So let me come around with that. Just put it in there. Maybe take it out like this, and I'll let you adjust it. And you probably don't want to go over the electrode. You want to have the electrode on the other side. I probably will start it. I've got more filter paper up here.
One ultimate.
Then you can turn your,
And how do we know which one to plus on?
here, you guys, here's the, reverse it and take it out.
Which direction?
And this person here is reading 1 volt. Anybody else getting a reading?
It is.
Yeah, about 1 volt. Now, by making the concentration of the copper and the zinc higher, or by raising the temperature, I can increase the voltage. You're getting something there? Yeah, about 1 volt. Really not bad from this very simple operation. I mean, okay, so chemists have this pretty much nailed down. This is called a voltaic cell or a simple battery. It works better if you have the 2 half cells separate like this. Then if you put everything in the same beaker, it runs down pretty quickly. Okay, and then you just get the 2 reacting like in our first experiment. They're in the same cell. You get this type of thing happening. All right, so in your little books here, you can actually write down what your voltage is. Find the copper zinc cell and write down what voltage you got. And then we can calculate how much energy. Calculate how much energy comes out of this volt. Take 2 times 96,500 times 1 volt. And that'll give you the energy in joules. 1 volt. Yeah, that's, oh, you got 0.01? Okay, so yeah, that's kind of small. Yeah. It's a negative 1 volt, but it's still 1 volt. If you reverse these, you reverse the black and the red, you would get a positive 1 volt. Here. Yeah, well, what you do, you just move it to the range where you get the best reading. This one is too small. Okay. 1.1. These are actually, all these have the same reading, but like in different metric or SI units. And so then for this, here's the picture. And to get the energy, you take the calculator 2 times 96,000 times 1 times 1 volt. Where's the right 1 volt? It looks like it's about 200,000 joules or 2 kilojoules. That's not very much energy for a chemical reaction. Okay? That's not even the amount of energy that you can get from eating a candy bar. I think I once calculated how many push-ups I have to do to lose like like 20,000 push-ups. Okay? So what we can do is we can change the metals. If we change the metals, we have to change the solutions too. So, you know, the only other metal that I brought here was lead. And seeing that we have a lot of little kids here, the parents may not want them to handle lead. So if you're a kid without a parent, I'm not going to give you the lead. But I have these lead electrodes. Incidentally, the Romans loved lead, okay? Here I got some here. Touching it won't hurt you, okay? Lead tends to be soft. It's malleable. It's a metal that's malleable. It's very soft. And the Romans purified it. They used it in it. Does anybody know where the Romans used lead? Yeah, they used it for plumbing. And so they actually gave lead the Latin name plumbium. Plumbium, the chemical symbol for lead is Pb. It comes from the Latin word plumbium, which means plumbing, because that's what they used it for. But after a long time, they all got sick from the lead that was dissolved in their water. If you get a little bit on your hands, it's not a big deal. All right? But sometimes our students mix up the lead and the zinc, so they'll put the zinc back in the lead because the lead container because they look the same. But lead is soft and malleable and zinc isn't. That's how you can tell the difference. So he wants to try to make a lead battery. I have a parent. Well, rinse your hands off. So what I'm going to come around and do first is I'm going to collect your zinc solution. So I'm going to pick that up for you. I'm going to take out your little piece of filter paper. Take this out. And then what I want you to do is I want you to take the zinc electrodes, take all those, and you go down and get all those. So pour your zinc, take your zinc electrode out, take your just leave it there. We use it. Just, yeah, you don't even have to take it out. Just leave that right there. Right, so then, yeah, put it back. Sarah. Right, so then I'm going to come down with the lead solution. Looks like we're going to have to probably rinse out our beakers before we continue. We won't be able to finish the lead electrodes, but you get the idea, okay? So basically what I wanted to show you today is that chemical reactions can produce energy from a very, very simple process of just having two different metals in immersed in the right solutions. The chemists have known about this for many years, and they're using the basics of these ideas to construct batteries. The new lithium batteries are a lot more difficult to understand than any of these batteries. But understanding this maybe will land you a job in the future where you make maybe $100,000 or more a year. Okay? So if you're interested in science, as you must be to be here, I want you to continue your science education. From what I've seen, you've got a very, very good college right here in Jackson to start your studies. You should continue with it. Okay? Thank you. We'll clean up.
Hey Michael, what are we going to do today?
A fully electric vehicle, and we're going to drive it from fast charging point to fast charging point to see whether that's convenient and whether it works. So we're going to go far, far, far beyond the range of the vehicle.
So what is the range of the vehicle right now?
Well, currently we've got 132 kilometers on the counter, and well, that's basically not enough for our trip.
Okay, so we're just going to find out how far we can drive in a day.
Exactly.
Okay, thanks.
En wel eens te verstaan in... Oh, trouwens, sorry, we zouden het Engels doen.
It seems that
Heel erg oncomfortabel. We are electric vehicle enthusiasts who currently work at Appion and just like to know more about these type of vehicles.
So, why are we doing this?
Well, Wouter, we're doing this basically out of curiosity. We like to know more about these vehicles, so we like to see how do they react when they are used continuously. It's 12:30 in the morning and we're ready to leave for our 24-hour trip.
Okay, let's go.
Let's go.
Starting route guidance to your destination.
Ik hoop niet dat er een ongeluk gebeurd is. De politie kan...
Niemand weet het. Niet best, we staan alweer in de file.
Oh ja, druk verkeer hè?
Ja.
Hey zweepie.
Het heeft eigenlijk wel iets relaxed. Even een rustmomentje pakken, even wat te drinken, foldertje doorbladeren en zo. En nou.
Een heel klein schattig miefje. Of anders gegeten, mief. Dus die afstand van die 20 meter is ook helemaal geen issue. Nee. Ik onderhand nat. Nee, niet gaan ze halen. Maar in die lachen.
Ja.
Mooi werk.
Yay! Okay, time's up. 24 hours.
Time's up, guys.
Woo!
We've driven in total 1,254 kilometers. I think that's quite an accomplishment.
Great.
Thank you for viewing.
Woo!
So that's all, folks. We've driven 1,254 kilometers with this vehicle. It's really nice to drive. It accelerates fast. I really liked it. Although the range is still limited, with fast charging, it's already very, very convenient.
Ja, vogeltjesdans.